Well, House Speaker Kevin McCarthy has done the bold action of releasing all of the security footage from January 6th. Oh, wait, no, not to the public, to Tucker Carlson. And only to Tucker Carlson as of now. Why? Very strange. We'll walk through more about this, but first, from CNN, House Speaker Kevin McCarthy has granted Fox News host Tucker Carlson access to all of the U.S. Capitol security footage from January 6th. The highly unusual move, a House Speaker handing over a massive trove of internal government materials to a friendly media outlet, comes after the California Republican faced significant pressure from his right flank to relitigate the work of the House Select Committee that investigated the January 6, 2021 insurrection. You know, I heard another political commentator make this point, but it was such a great point. It is the right who is constantly saying the media is in cahoots with the left to suppress conservatives and to help Democratic politicians. And just out in the public, Fox News, Tucker Carlson, is doing something that is so blatantly coordinating with a politician for the purposes of some political goal. And the right has no problem with that because it's benefiting their side. Before we discuss further and kind of the implications of this, here's Tucker Carlson making this announcement.
So for really more than 2 years now, we've been complaining about, and we think it's justified, the fact that the U.S. Congress has held thousands, tens of thousands of hours of closed-circuit camera footage from the public. They have not released any of it from January 6th. And January 6th, of course, is a transformative event in this country. It's been used to change the country. So there are about 44,000 hours. And we have, you may have read this today, been granted access to that. And we believe that access is unfettered. We believe we have secured the right to see whatever we want to see. So we've been there about a week. Our producers, some of our smartest producers, have been there looking at this stuff and trying to figure out what it means and how it contradicts or not the story that we've been told for more than 2 years. We think already that in some ways it does contradict that story. And so we're going to spend the rest of this week taking a look at it, assessing it as honestly as we can, and we're going to bring you what we find next week.
So two major concerns with this, and then we'll take a look at Jamie Raskin on MSNBC being asked about it. Number one is you can, and Jamie Raskin will use the phrase cherry pick, I'm pretty sure, the information, the footage, to try to create a narrative that just isn't there. An example of this, and it's just completely hypothetical, but let's say at a certain point in time, seconds before Nancy Pelosi evacuated, she's standing calmly, like just, again, hypothetical. You could totally picture in the Tucker Carlson voice him going, "Interesting. The rioters had already entered the Capitol lawn and Nancy Pelosi standing there calmly. Maybe she knew this was going to happen because she coordinated it." And then the clip cuts off right before she starts panicking and running out. And it was just completely portrayed in a dishonest way. And so whenever you privately can decide what to do with the footage, then it's hard to trust the story you want to tell with that footage. But as many people have pushed for, if they would also just release it to other media outlets, then that particular concern is addressed. But there's more than just that. There's security concerns. Now, anyone, if this gets from Tucker Carlson and moves along to more media outlets or to the public generally, you have the concern of private information about our Capitol, about where politicians evacuate, about politicians specifically. Numerous different concerns there could be revealed and make the Capitol less secure going forward. And so just releasing thousands of hours of security footage is definitely concerning to me. But take a look at this being discussed on MSNBC.
Also, I'm concerned that these are the people that the Russians listen to, including Tucker, that he can put on something that is false, not real, but that is very useful to our enemies, including knowing where the security cameras are on Capitol Hill.
Well, look, Tucker Carlson is a pro-Putin, pro-Orban, pro-autocrat propagandists. So while we've got the president of the United States over in Ukraine expressing solidarity with the forces of democratic freedom, Kevin McCarthy is releasing these tapes to one network, not making it public for everybody, not giving it to CNN and MSNBC and the New York Times, Washington Post, giving it to Fox News and to Tucker Carlson so he can forward his propaganda theories. And as you say, this is a serious security risk. I mean, the reason, there's thousands of hours of footage that are out there already, but the reason all of it wasn't released is precisely because it lays out floor design, it lays out evacuation routes, it lays out where the vice president went, it lays out where the senior members of Congress were evacuated, and so on. So I hope that Kevin McCarthy at least has planned for that. But at this point, since he's made it available to one network, he may as well make it available to all networks, because we know, as you suggest, they're going to be cherry picking it in order to, And
we'll stop it there. But going on to make the point that I made for the sake of time, we will move forward. But very strange, and just out in the open, like I said, blatantly showing how in cahoots, how in coordination, and looking out for the interests of one another, members of the Republican Party, Fox and Tucker Carlson, really are, which if the same thing happened on the opposite side, the right wing would lose their mind. They would say it's a conspiracy to take down the Republican Party or take down conservatives, and it's horrible and all these different things. But if it were to be released to the public, the whole, what's the real story thing, wouldn't it be a concern? Show the public what the real story was, which we all absolutely know what it was. But the security concerns is why I actually support it being kept private, which it looks like it won't be, because so much about the actions on that day of the politicians, the security, the, as he said, exit routes, all those different things now could be made public, which is not good, to find answers that we already have. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to be a part of what makes this show possible, plus get access to the full video version of the show hours before all the clips are uploaded to YouTube, plus get the full bonus show every single Saturday, you can do so by going to patreon.com/Luke Beasley. That's patreon.com/Luke Beasley. Link in the description.